to real serious issues that could result in, criminal trial or incarceration, spans the gamut for him so far. Stephen A. Smith, you have even said that at the very least, Ezekiel Elliott should have to pay a stupid tax, essentially, for some of his decisions. So while I say I'm against, on principle, special rules for professional players, for adults, if you're going to have them on the Dallas Cowboys, why wouldn't you have them for Ezekiel Elliott?
Once again, you're all over the place. It's very, very simple for me.
I'm in one place.
No, you're not. You're all over the damn place. I mean, you're against it, but you're for it, but you understand it, but you don't understand it, whatever.
The point that I'm trying to say. I said it
exactly. Neither does everybody else. That's the problem. We don't understand.
All right,
clear.
guys.
Should there be an extra rule for Ezekiel Elliott? The answer is no. Period. All that other stuff don't matter. It should not be an extra rule for Ezekiel Elliott. And by the way, here's the reason why. Because Stephen Jones said it best. These are grown men. You wanted to be a man. You wanted to be a professional. These are the rules. Follow them or else. There are laws that govern our society, whether you're for it or against it. Follow it or else. Period. It's just that simple. And that's what this comes down to. Nobody asked you to leave Ohio State early. Nobody asked you to step into a grown man's game, which, by the way, you're pretty damn elite at. Nobody asked you to pay, to play for pay. You wanted to do that. You wanted to get away from the collegiate sport and come to the pro level. Not knocking it. Right decision. Clearly, you're elite. You're big time. I think he'll be a superstar and a Hall of Famer someday if he continues to play and he doesn't find himself out of football for stupid, idiotic reasons. But at the end of the day, what this comes down to is that even though you're young, you're still a man. You know right from wrong. You know what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. I'll be damned if I'm an owner and I'm going to spend extra money and extra resources cushioning you so you can act like you have some damn sense. I refuse. This is your check. You know what comes with it. You know the rules and regulations that abide by it, like everybody else in society, okay? You either going to do it or you're going to pay the price. It's just that simple. Listen, I've said it on many occasions. And I love me some Oprah. But if there is one thing that I have against Oprah, we have been Oprah-fied. I've said it for many years.
What does that mean?
I've told her that. And I'm getting ready to tell you what it means. There's an explanation for every damn thing. Every damn thing. No. The rules are the rules. You know what you got to do. Do them. Get this check. Ball. Get the check. And live your life. Period.
Right.
It's not that complicated. And we make it complicated because we always try to find explanations. I'm not knocking Ezekiel Elliott here. I'm just knocking this notion that there's this need that certain people need to be cushioned. Damn all that. If you don't do it, these are going to be the consequences. Show it to them and then let them be men and make the call. Period.
As I said, I am in one place. Obviously, I started with the premise that was very clear. Adults shouldn't have special rules. But it's not because the owner needs to spend extra resources doing it. It's not like the player wants the owner of the team to do that. The player feels that the owner's being patronizing when that happens. The player doesn't want it. It's the owner of the team acting as though he owns the man somehow, which is objectionable. That's not what we're discussing even. The real issue is, Stephen A.
discussing that.
If you you're saying, why should the owner have to spend extra money? The player's never there telling the owner, hey, spend extra resources and make special rules for me. You think Ezekiel Elliott wants special rules for him? Of course not. The point is this. It's the owner actually trying to exert greater control over not only the player, but the man. I find that objectionable. Most people do. What we're talking about in this instance is the Dallas Cowboys, who have done this with other players. If they are coming out now and saying, you know what, our policy going forward is we're not doing that anymore, then I understand their point about not doing it for Ezekiel Elliott. But if the idea is, well, we still are going to do this from time to time, but Ezekiel Elliott doesn't fall into the category of the kind of player or person we're going to do this for, then I say they're being hypocritical. Because based on his behavior so far, if Des Bryant was in that category, then certainly Ezekiel Elliott should be in that category.
And I'm saying that all of that's irrelevant to me, because the question was, should there be an extra rule for Ezekiel Elliott? And I answered directly, no. Period. It's not that complicated. This is why this shouldn't be the extra rule. I'm not dancing around anything. I'm going right at it. There should not be an extra rule for Ezekiel Elliott or anybody else.
Or anybody else. But if there is...
What if you need to be saved from yourself, though?
Say what?
What if he needs to be saved from himself?
That's his problem.
But I mean, for the Cowboys, they invested so much money. They showed that they need him.
Let's understand, Molly.
Okay.
You're asking me the question. You ain't asking me the question because I'm wrong. You're not asking me the question because you're right. You're asking the question because there's an elevated level of compassion that you may have that I don't have.
Yeah, I'm over 5.
Well, let me understand. Let me explain why. It's not that I'm devoid of compassion. It's that I'm a realist. I understand that in the real world, people are not going to give you those kind of leisures. They're not going to give you those kind of passes.
Is playing for the Cowboys the real world, though?
Yes, for Ezekiel Elliott it is. Who cuts the check?
Okay,
it ain't
a different question. A different question, Stephen A., because we agree. And Molly, I agree with Stephen A. as the answer to that. He has to be saved from himself. Dude, you're a professional. You're a grown man. Furthermore, I'm sure Ezekiel Elliott's sitting there going, don't save me from myself. You don't own me, the person.
I'm just saying,
you know, I am a part of your team. I can do what I want.
At 22, you're very different than 32.
Sure, but still, I would have that point of view if I were Ezekiel Elliott or any player. Stephen A., my question to you is, we agree the Dallas Cowboys shouldn't have the rule for anyone. If they do persist with sometimes having special rules for certain players, does Ezekiel Elliott fall into that category, yes or no?
I would say no. You know why? Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
I am.
Do y'all draw a distinction in terms of somebody? And see, this is uncomfortable because I didn't want to do this to Ezekiel Elliott. Okay. But since Max Kellerman asked the question, let me answer it. If you're taking drugs or using alcohol or engaging in salacious recreational activities with escorts, prostitutes, or whatever, as detrimental as that may be, you're harming yourself. So my willingness to prevent you from harming yourself is entirely different than if you, as Ezekiel Elliott has been accused, inflicting violence upon another human being or his ex-girlfriend. I'm going to help you with that? No, I'm going to deal with you over that. It ain't about help. It's about dealing with you.
That's a good point. It's
about dealing with you. It ain't about helping. It's about making sure you get dealt with because you have no business doing it. You see the difference?
Max, last
We're
word.
only 35 minutes into the show, and twice, Stephen A., you've cleared up some confusion about your own point with a good distinction. So 2 gold stars for you.
If there's any confusion about my point, is because Molly asked a question and Max goes up the hill, down the block, around the corner and everything. Before he gets to the point, confuses America, I reel America back in, and I'm the one being confused. Go someplace.
Let me read the book.
Go someplace.
Coming up, Adam Silver sends a no tanking memo out to